Good afternoon, all. I've been out doing deliveries since 7 o'clock this morning and just going to have a bit of a lunch break right now. Haven't decided what I'm going to do after lunch, whether I'll go back out or whether I'll stay home and do other things. But I thought I'd just fill you in on what I've been doing on the Lucy Letby case over the weekend. Now, I did a bit of research into the powers of the royal family and thought it would be necessary before I wrote this letter. So I'm going to read you the letter that I've written. It's dated the 22nd of February 2025, which I think was yesterday. No, it must have been Saturday. Maybe I wrote it on Saturday. But it's dated the 22nd of February 2025, and it's addressed to His Majesty the King at Buckingham Palace, London, SW1A 1AA. I might actually change the date on it because I haven't actually sent it yet. But it reads, Dear Sir, in brackets, King Charles III, with my humble duty, I hope this letter meets you in good health. I'm a 57-year-old father of three, born in the borough of Westminster in the 1960s. My parents were part of the Windrush Generation who came over to the UK from Jamaica to serve Queen and country. My mother worked as an NHS nurse for most of her career prior to retirement. I and my extended family were very fond of your mother, our Queen Elizabeth II, but during her reign, I was never sufficiently incensed by any matters taking place in the UK to feel the need to write to her. I was always confident matters would take care of themselves sufficiently given a reasonable period of time. However, these are different times, and recent years have seen exceptional events take place, including prolonged and perhaps unnecessary lockdowns and the unexpected and sudden passing of your mother. So I'm just going to make a correction there. Briefly, as a child, I met your grandmother, the Queen Mother, at Windsor Castle during a school trip in the 1970s. In 1977, I was fortunate enough to be one of the children invited to attend the great children's party held at Hyde Park to celebrate your mother's first jubilee. I was one of only a few children to have the honour of being invited for both days. More recently, from 2007, I worked with your sister-in-law, Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, raising money for the charity Tomorrow's People, where we raised over £1 million in one evening for homeless people. I still retain the touching letter she wrote thanking me and my colleagues for our efforts. And I'll just show you this very quickly. So this was actually one of the mementos from the event. This was an ashtray that was specially produced for the event and only given to those who attended. And it was a handful of very influential people who attended, including politicians and people from the city. So some of the top businessmen in the country. Even more recently, you bestowed on my cousin Gloria Anne Marie Garman an MBE for services to adult education. I won't go into the fact that the father of one of my classmates at Hallfield School was your mother's gardener at the palace, and another classmate being one of your cousins. All of this has meant that I have always felt like I've had a tenuous connection with the royal family. The reason I'm contacting you today is due to a situation that has brought the UK justice system into disrepute, both at home and on the international stage. There is a young lady, a former nurse by the name of Lucy Letby, who currently languishes in prison, having clearly been the victim of a gross miscarriage of justice. Her plight started in 2015 when she was wrongly identified by senior medical staff at the Countess of Chester Hospital as the cause of various neonatal deaths. In 2016, she was removed from nursing duties, and in 2020, she was remanded in custody, where she has remained ever since, having been found guilty of murder and attempted murder. Last month, a panel of 14 eminent international neonatal experts was convened by respected Canadian medical expert Dr. Shu Lee, whose research was the basis of the evidence that got Lucy convicted, and he held a press conference in which they refuted the misuse of Dr. Lee's work in prosecuting Miss Letby and provided the genuine causes of the baby's deaths based on their independent examinations of all the medical records available. They concluded that she did not kill or harm anyone. I must add that during a 10-month trial, no witness was able to say that they saw her harm a single baby. Lucy has spent nearly 5 years in prison for crimes she clearly did not commit. Historically, the Court of Appeal, CCRC, have taken decades to even look at applications for appeal in cases where there have been clear instances of miscarriages of justice. Lucy Letby was 25 years old when her ordeal started and when she was wrongly targeted for this unjust treatment. She was now 35 years old, and it is only just being brought to the attention of the authorities that she is the victim of a gross miscarriage of justice. Should the Court of Appeal drag its heels the way it did in cases such as that of Andrew Malkinson, Sally Clark, and the postmasters, then she may well be closer to 50 years of age before she experiences freedom from a locked prison cell. This is not justice. I understand that you have the royal prerogative to pardon a prisoner in exceptional circumstances. May I ask of you this one time that you exercise this prerogative on the understanding that Lucy remain on house arrest in her parents' dwelling until such time as the Court of Appeal next considers her case for retrial or exoneration, one of which will surely be the case at the next opportunity. She has proven between June 2016, when she was removed from medical duties, and November 2020, when she was arrested and remanded in custody, that she poses no danger to the general public. She has no history of criminality and was a model nurse during her time of service. I have the honour to be, Sir, Your Majesty's humble and obedient servant. Yours sincerely, Carl Perkins. Now, the reason I'm actually sharing this with you is because I want to see I want some feedback on the wording of this letter. What I've read up on the royal family is that although they have the power to intervene, they generally don't exercise that power. And also it says on the website that they don't really get involved in individual cases as such on a personal basis. They don't deal with these things on a personal basis. So I'm not sure. I mean, I'm going to send the letter anyway, but I'm not sure whether the wording is the right wording, and if there's a way I can frame it so that it doesn't specifically ask him to release or get Lucy Letby released. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, or whether I should just send it as is. So, yeah, I would like some feedback from yourselves. I will try to leave a copy of the letter in the description for you to download and look at and read. I don't know if that's possible, but if it is at all possible, I will try and leave a copy, or what you could also do. Let's see if it's possible to do it from the screen. Let's see if I can do it from the screen. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's the start of the letter, and then I'll just scroll it up. So you could probably pause it and read it at various points of the letter. There. And then there, maybe. Don't know. Let's see. Can't get this thing to move up. Okay. I think that's the bottom of the letter, basically. So I'll go back down again. Go back down again. So that gives you a feel of what the letter's all about. And I welcome any feedback. As usual, please do subscribe, like the video, share the video. Oh, one other thing is the point of me showing everyone this letter is once we have an agreed letter, then it would be fantastic. And I don't think there's an email address you can send a letter to. I think you have to actually send a hard copy of a letter to the Buckingham Palace in order to get a response. But it'd be really great because they do respond to every letter, from what I understand. It'd be great if as many people as possible could send letters to King Charles asking for him to intervene in some way. Or you don't have to use my wording, you can use your own wording. But there is protocol. So the first line of my letter and the last sentence are the sort of normal protocol for communicating. It's kind of like, courtesy and respectful to use wording like that when sending a letter to the royal family. But I'm sure, kids send all the time and they don't know to use wording like that and they get responses. So, I don't think there's any harm in using your own wording that amounts to the same sort of meaning as what I've put in my letter. So that's it, and I will speak to you all next time.